next way that you can deal with your consciousness and bring more awareness and happiness into your fucking life is diet and watching what you eat and why you eat. See the intention behind why you eat. It's a very big impact on the way the food is processed within you and the way your mind feels about the food, the way your whole body feels about the food. See, if you eat super fast all the time and you're just constantly shoveling shit in your face hole, your body's not going to be able to deal with that as properly as it would be able to if you were to take your time with it in every single bite, feeling grateful for it in every single bite, just doing it out of love instead of fucking addiction. Also, the thing is, if you're constantly eating sugar, meat, dairy, carbohydrates, and wheat, gluten-filled foods, you will have a super troublesome life. This will make you experience a whole lot of imbalance in your energetic field, and that's coming from someone. I'm not putting anybody down who consumes this. This is kind of just like a warning, because like I genuinely feel for the people suffering from these kinds of addictions, as I used to be, and I recently broke out these addictions to these chemicals that we consume on a daily basis. It makes it so hard to become conscious. It makes it so hard to truly change and truly transcend, because it's just an attachment. We just have these built-up attachments ever since we were infants. We started consuming things. We started consuming things that have high rates of sugar, that have high rates of dairy. We just grow up off of meat. We grow up off of fucking pain, and that's why we live in pain. We grow up off of suffer, and we live in suffer. It's pretty basic, but seems to get people just like to turn a blind eye to these kinds of things. And if you're trying to expand your consciousness, and honestly, stop turning blind eyes to things. Bring awareness to what you're doing and what you are putting in your body, because when you eat let's say a piece of beef, depending on where you get it, if it's free range, I don't personally believe that it's much different than a fucking slaughterhouse, because they still die with the intent of just greed and money and power, and these animals grow up in pain and suffer and die in pain and suffer. Therefore, that is what you become. You are what you eat. Through the consumption of these chemicals, your energetic field is completely tainted, and it just really fucks up your balance and your centeredness as a whole. So bring awareness to that, and it's a process in quitting those addictions, but honestly, if you do it and you commit to it and you are able to truly see why you're doing it and why you're bringing this change into your life, then you will do it, and you will be able to do it. Much love to those souls. It's honestly the greatest thing that I have ever experienced. I used to stuff my face until I was full, until it fucking hurts to walk, with just straight shit food, and now I'm able to just eat and feel so good during it and feel so good after it by just eating vegetables and fucking fruits. I feel so free now. No longer caged by these addictions that the man wants us to have. So consuming these things makes it even harder for you to expand your consciousness, due to the fact that the reason why it's so hard to stop eating these foods is the attachment to your addictions. And partaking in the consumption of these chemicals is just complete self-sabotage, because a part of you knows that it's shit food. A part of you knows that it probably shouldn't be in your body, and that it doesn't serve you positively. Although there's this other part, the other little voice in your fucking head that says, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna keep doing it because it tastes good. And that side will continue this cycle until you have suffered enough. You have felt enough pain from this kind of shit, and you are through with it. Until that point, you will continue that addiction. Another way to further expand your consciousness is accepting, learning how to let things go, seeing that every single thing that happens in your daily life happens for a reason. So now you can either see these things and accept them for what they are, or you can live in resistance, in anger, in question things just completely out of complaint, which leads you to feeling like everything is happening to you, as if you were some sort of victim of circumstances. Listen, put the fucking tissues down, drop the victim role, stop crying about how bad your life is when, if you're trying to expand your consciousness, this is just prolonging your unconscious mind's just hissy fits and shit. Drop the victim role. Begin seeing things and accept them as they are. If you fucking lose something that you really liked, that meant a lot to you, it was meant to happen. You were not meant to keep that. Same thing as if your dog dies, it was meant to happen. You can't hold on you can hold on to these things, but you can't really bring it back to you because it's gone. What's the point of holding on? And it's like a conscious unconscious thing where you're choosing to hold on to these things that you have lost, choosing to hold on to these things, but it's an unconscious intent behind it, as if it'll give you some sort of salvation, like, oh, poor me, my dog died. Don't make it about yourself. Just understand that it's a process of life. It's a process of life. It fucking happens every single day. And if you can't get over that, then that's something you gotta work on. It's kind of a harsh truth, but it's a truth. It's a truth, and to enlighten oneself, one must become aware of all truths. Otherwise, you're just sitting in delusion. So, begin seeing things and accepting them as they are. Understand that life is 10% of what actually happens and 90% of your reaction. Here's an example. So if you experience pain by stubbing your toe and react like, ow, ow, fuck, ow, fuck, you're only prolonging the pain and making it worse for yourself just by thinking about it. Are you aware that in the instance of pain, you can literally turn it off with your mind just by not bringing attention to the pain and feeling it, not exclaiming how much it hurts, not feeling how much it hurts, just feeling the pain and letting it pass as it naturally does? See, if you were to stub your toe and instantly accept it as with no reaction, only just like a conscious response by just feeling it and allowing it to pass as it naturally does, then you would be able to move on instead of holding on to the past and continuing the pain. See, when you hold on to pain from the past, you're only living in the past. That is a resistance of the present moment. If you're just present, accepting the pain, close your eyes, breathe through it, you'll be able to get over it. You'll be able to get through it instead of just holding on to it. When you accept things, you begin to make room for love, self-development, self-discipline, and less room for hatred, anger, suffer, shame, resistance. Okay, so this is probably one of the most beneficial, probably in my vision, in my opinion, on expanding your consciousness and truly transcending suffer, is being grateful and having gratefulness be a part of your everyday life through every single step of the way. Try this right now. Pause the video after I tell you this. Look around you. Find some things that you are grateful for. And if you are not grateful for anything at all, well then go find things that you can possibly be grateful for. For example, the food, the sun, the trees, all these beautiful trees, a dog, an animal, anything, any connection that you have between things. When you find things to be grateful for, that's you finding happiness. That's you finding true happiness and true value in the things that are around you, instead of taking the sun, the water, the trees, the food all for granted. When you are not grateful, you are just taking it for granted. And if there's ever a moment in the day where you are ungrateful and complaining about how hard things are for you, snap out of it. Become conscious. Become grateful. Look around. Be like, okay, well, at least I'm not fucking dying. At least my toe's not falling off. At least I'm not a slave, like a physical slave living in a cell. Appreciate the things that you have. Appreciate everything that's around you. See it all with love. Feel it all with love. Become conscious. Become grateful. This is a habit that you have to build that takes practice and patience. And it will get easier as you do it more. Trust me, as I do it every single day, every single thing that I do. Something that I like to do when I catch myself being ungrateful is become conscious and become grateful that I am conscious and that I can feel true happiness if I choose to, instead of acting as a victim to circumstances. Become grateful for what you know. Become grateful for the wisdom that is in your mind. Become grateful for every single thing that you have. Become grateful for the pain that you once felt in the past because of how you've grown from it. Become grateful for all that you have ever experienced, for this is where you turned out to be. Now at this point, trying to grow, trying to expand your consciousness. Be grateful for every single thing that happens to you. And you never can get hurt again. You can never truly get hurt again if you're grateful for everything. All these temporary pains will just go away as they naturally do. Nothing will be able to fuck with you. And honestly, this is the biggest thing that's changed me so far. Just being grateful for every single thing. Every single time I eat food now, I try to just every single bite, just as slow as I can, as grateful as I can, and the energy just builds up, and I just end up fucking smiling so hard till it hurts. And it's so fucking beautiful. It's so nice. You can just wake up in that state, go to sleep in that state, wake up in that state, go to sleep in that state, and eventually die in that state. No longer suffering. This is how you transcend suffer. Another way that you can further expand your consciousness, and this kind of ties in with the gratefulness thing, is practicing love. And if you want to expand your consciousness for the better of your well-being, then understand that hating things and projecting anger only hinders you along your path to enlightenment. When you catch yourself expressing anger and hatred towards something, you can snap out of it. You can no longer feel that. You can choose to no longer feel that if you really want to. You can replace that feeling with something better. Some gratefulness, that's an example. That's what I do whenever I feel that feeling of anger, that feeling of, oh, fuck. Just able to let it go and just let it pass, because it's just an emotion. If you say, I am sad, I am angry, you will be angry. You will feel angry, and you will act angry. If you say, I am grateful, I am happy, then you will be that. Don't identify with every single one of your emotions. You can pick and choose which ones you want to identify with. Therefore, you will build a persona off of it. But don't fully identify with every single one of them, because that leads to delusion. That leads to you being unconscious. Expressing love. Self-love, everything, love for all these beautiful things around you every single day. Expressing love unconditionally to every single being and seeing no difference between dog, human, tree, me, you. You will never truly love someone or something if it is conditional. For example, you might say that you love your significant other because of their looks, but if they looked less attractive, you probably wouldn't love them much at all, or even at all, if that's what your love is based off of. That's conditional love. See, unconditional love is the kind of love that you have for a fucking dog. No matter what that dog does, you still feel that same feeling. Like, some people might get caught up in the anger of it, like maybe like ripped open a couch or a pillow or some shit and be like, that dog. But you still love that dog. Underneath, deep down, you still fucking love that dog no matter what. Practice bringing unconditional love about in every single aspect of your life. The same way you would feel towards a dog. Feel that way towards a tree. Feel that way towards an ant. Feel that way towards your enemies. As that is you, just in different form. We are all mirrors of each other. We are all the same collective consciousness expressed through different facets of the self. We are everything within and without. Another way to bring yourself to more consciousness and completely, like, keeping yourself there. This is kind of like, I use this as an anchor to ground me all the time. When I'm unconscious, my body now just shoots up. It's just like an unconscious reaction now. I've deeply ingrained this habit into my mind, but what I'm trying to say is posture. Keeping your posture. Keeping your body fully aligned at all times. What this does for you is this allows the energy within your body to flow freely so emotions can't get stuck. See, when you're living your life like this, you're all hunched over. It's easier to get agitated. It's easier to get stuck in lower levels of consciousness, such as anger, such as hatred, such as, the list goes on. But when you're like this, it's so much easier to feel good. It's so much easier to feel happy because you're truly utilizing your lungs. This is how you really take in breath. This is how you really take it all in. Your lungs are expanded and more air is allowed to flow through it. This is pretty much what I would consider a cure to the contagiousness of unconsciousness. When you're around other people that are just completely unconscious, that are completely in their head and just stuck, bring your shoulders up like this and roll them back and let them rest. Bring the posture up. Bring your posture up for your entire body to be able to work properly. When you keep posture, you can think easier, you can breathe easier, you can feel better. Your consciousness is actually firing off with neurons. You're able to be your true self, instead of wearing this. But anyways, if you all enjoyed this fucking video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you need to work on. I can seriously just make a video dedicated to some of you people, dedicated to any single issue that you guys are dealing with. I lately have been transcending a lot of unconscious egoic patterns in my life that I had to deal with for a really long time, but now I'm in a completely new place. I feel completely freed, and through that feeling I want to bring that onto others. I want to show how to achieve that, how you can truly master your mind instead of being a slave. Anyways, peace. I love every single one of you beings.